Yo, what's up? It's your boy Carcino here. I know you guys probably clicked on this video earlier and it wasn't working, and you guys probably think it's the same video. It's not. This is the full length version, the version they didn't want you to hear before they did that tampering crap or whatever they did. I don't know how they did it and pulled it off, where they actually tampered with the video so that you couldn't hear it, and they stopped it at like 3, 4 minutes. I'm like, wow, I don't even know how they pulled that off. But now that's 100% evidence that they are tampering out here. But it's cool because they stopping nothing. This is the full version. Enjoy it. I'm out. You know I love it. I love it because only in this country do we see something like this. But I'm glad. I'm glad we have these, what I call teachable moments. Now, we've expressed that there are people that never attended college but could lecture at a hall. There's people that never got a chance to graduate from high school because they had to go provide and go to work for the family. And they were a lot smarter in business because they had experience. Because they had the fortitude. They didn't think because they had a certificate or they could put a period in the right place or a comma in the right place that made them better than the next man. Because you knew a big word and used it in everyday conversation did not make you better. They knew how ignorant that would make them look and sound. So, what became the new narrative in today's society? So, in today's society, we have an element where people such as Stephen A. Smith, and I don't be wanting to talk about it, but he does things to bring himself back into the fold for teachable moments. This man now wants black people to defend him against white people slander. He thinks he's earned that right. So you bash the players that black people love for white people. But black people should be the ones to fight for you when white people come against you. I can't make this up. He was dead adamant. And he was basically taking a shot at me on the show. I ain't no damn blogger. You got these bloggers pissing me off. Well, I'm glad you're getting pissed off. Because you should be pissed. You should be pissed at yourself. Your blatant disrespect and your abuse of your job and your privilege and your position is what got you here. And since you want to talk about all the things you've done to get to this point, and how you did all this work before ESPN, and how you signed the deal in 2003, and what you've earned and your reputation. Listen, all of that didn't get you nowhere. What got you your positions in life Uh-oh, let me go tackle this. My apologies. That was a call I had to take. But for Stephen A. Smith to have the gall to take this to a level it never should have gotten to, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. You know, that's what like got me all fuzzy in my head. Because why do you need someone else to justify your career? And to be honest, homeboy, you know what? Forget all that. Forget it. Let's let you listen to what Stephen A said.
Which is why when you got these bloggers out here talking this shit sometimes and all of this other stuff, I remind folks, excuse me, I ain't no damn blogger. I worked my way up to get to this point. I said I was living off of tuna fish and Kool-Aid working in Archdale, North Carolina. I did 4 internships before I became a high school reporter. I worked for 14 months at the New York Daily News before I covered college. I got promoted 7 times at the Philadelphia Inquirer before I became a columnist. And all of this was before ESPN ever came about. My opinion is earned. It wasn't given to me. Yes. You see, I agree with
Now, let's stop right there. And let's get to breaking this down. First, you taking a shot at me. I peeped that. You taking a shot at me. And talking about other people who are bloggers, right? And you say, I ain't no damn blogger. When you post on Instagram, when you post on social media, you're a blogger. You're blogging. You might have another job that you do, but what you're doing is actually blogging. Now, here's the part that I want to get across to people, and I want them to understand. Stephen A., you're not a journalist anymore. You're signed with WME, William Morris Entertainment, right? You're not CAA no more. That's why you was on General Hospital, Brick. You're an actor. You're an entertainer now. You're in that field. So you're not a journalist anymore. Why are you trying to throw your credentials around as if it means something right now? It doesn't. Your credentials mean doo-doo right now. Absolutely nothing. Because your credentials are not why you're where you are right now. They did not say, we want Stephen A in here because he did such a great job as a journalist in Philadelphia. We need to have him on ESPN on TV because of what he did back in the day. They don't care about what you did back in the day. That's not where you at. That's not why you there. You there because you do what they can't do. They got you sitting there to tear down black athletes. That's your job. But that ain't even the kicker, y'all. That ain't even the kicker. Let's get to the kicker.
Call him screaming, they call him Mad Dog, but it works. Fine, so be it. But when black folks, oh mad though, but it works.
You hear
Fine,
that?
so be. They don't call them screaming, they call them A and all. That's cool, man. It's no big deal. And I'm particular about this, not with white folks. I mean, white folks that say screaming A and all this, that's cool, man. It's no big deal. My man Mad Dog Russo, my buddy, they don't call him screaming A, they call him Mad Dog, but it works. Fine, so be it. But when black folks don't embrace what folks are trying to do and fend that off, that upsets me because I am somebody that's trying to set a path for future folks on the come up for my community to be in this position one day. You don't allow someone to forget my resume. If you're a black person, all of these jobs that I had, all of this work I put in, all of these sacrifices I made, you're going to let somebody come to me and say, "Oh, he just screams," while forgetting all the stories that I broke, the dominance that I exhibited covering the NBA, and the way I built my career over a span of 25 plus years. You're just going to let them forget that? If they forget my resume, what are they going to do to your resume? Doesn't it drive you?
Now, so let me get this straight. He just said he doesn't care if a white guy says these things about him. That's okay. It bothers him when a black person allows them to say these things about him. So you want black people to defend you when you won't defend yourself? Is that what I'm hearing? So you don't care when they say it, but you want us to be offended for you. What kind of new Negro rule is this? If that ain't the most asinine statement I have heard, this man has said some of the most Jim Crow brainwashed lines I have ever heard ever from anybody in his position. You are not in that seat because of your credentials as a journalist. You were fired from almost every job you had. Fired. You were fired from ESPN. So all your credentials, all the stuff you did, all the promotions you got, they fired you. You were fired. The only reason you were let back is because Skip Bayless said so. So y'all could debate and tear down black athletes live on the show. So y'all could debate and just throw generalities around with actually no facts, no actual information, no journalistic integrity, no responsibility. So everything you've learned as a journalist basically didn't matter and your credentials to do the job. None of it mattered. You weren't hired for that. So you can try to lie and change your narrative to be anything other than we know what you are. You, my friend, wasn't doing anything at Philadelphia. You think they promoted you because you were so smart and bright? You were revered at that place for being a hack. That's how they viewed you. If it Scoop Jackson, and we'll talk about that later, but realistically, Allen Iverson is the only reason you are even thought of. You would be a distant memory. No one would even know who you were if it wasn't for Allen Iverson. He made your career. You wouldn't have been thought of. You wouldn't have been a household name. You wouldn't have been anything if you weren't writing in Philadelphia and Allen Iverson happened to come there and you jumped on his jock strap and he wanted to help you out because he wanted to help out a brother. And what did you do? You betrayed his trust. You stabbed that man in the back to get promoted. That's the kind of person you are. Screaming A. Smith. That's the person you are. The knife in the back of Allen Iverson. He knew what you were right then and there. Then you get the ESPN. You talk about Kwame Brown. You talk about Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving. You have been talking about all of these athletes. Never talk about a white one. Why is that? I don't see him harping over any white athlete. Johnny Manziel had I don't know how many chances. All of a sudden, it wasn't, he just can't play. Oh, he can't stay healthy. He can't stay off the drugs. Skip, he just can't stay off the drugs. It was, well, this is a sad day. None of the energy you got for the black athletes. Why is that? Hmm? He will deceive the masses for the masters. That is his job. Will born to be proud. That's why you guys get along so well. Every day he over there with Kornheiser, shuffling and jiving. That's all they know. And let's talk about this collective bargaining agreement. Like, there's an illusion that, oh, they don't affect the collective bargaining agreement. There's no proof. There's no evidence saying that they what they do don't affect it. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell and all of those wonderful things, because that is, how people eat and how they know you're for real and get notifications. I just feel bad because now we finna really get into this. The outside general public, many of them don't know, or they don't pay any attention to it. And this is why Stephen A can say things like this, and it brings a worldwide of attention. This man literally has thrown athletes under the bus on purpose for an agenda. Someone is telling them to do these things. Okay? This is not an accident. This is what they do. Now, listen to this. Not only does most valuable player, AllStar Games, Rookie of the Years, all these NBA awards, plus all NBA teams, are voted on by the media. And 87% of the sports media has never played in the NBA. Let me repeat, 87% of the sports media has never played in the NBA. And they get to vote on all NBA teams, most valuable players, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, all these awards. Now, the reason why I say that is because in these contracts that these owners have with their players, there are incentives in the contract that states if you make all NBA team, this is how you get the Supermax. A supermax contract is being determined. This is tens of millions of dollars. We're talking an extra $30 million to a player. Is being decided by the sports media. People who have never played the game, they get to vote on who gets to be all NBA, and it is in players' contracts. So to get the supermax, it says in your contract you have to at least make an all NBA team to qualify for that supermax. And I always bring up the Donovan Mitchell situation. The Utah Jazz was the number one team in the NBA. Number one in the NBA, the whole league, right? Donovan Mitchell is a huge part of it. They're dominating the NBA. Clarkson is like sixth man of the year. They're dominating the league. This is his contract year. And Donovan Mitchell, all he has to do in his contract is make any all NBA team, first team, second team, third team. There was question on should he be first team or not. Surely he was going to be on the second. Would you be surprised to know he didn't make any all NBA team? And it cost him $30 million. And he couldn't get the Supermax. And that saves who? The Utah Jazz. So you think their general manager or someone else didn't lean on the media to not vote for Donovan Mitchell to get on the all NBA team? Who made that a rule? So now you just cost this man $30 million that he actually earned. Now, you want to talk about fair? Is that fair for the players? Or is that fair for the organization, the team? So if they're manipulating that, Stephen A., what makes you believe that you are out here not doing their work for them? And that what you're saying is not affecting sponsorships, advertisement, and future contract signing. You're telling everybody every day Russell Westbrook can't get another contract. His days are numbered. Based on what? That's based on an illusion. You brought that up when it wasn't even the topic of discussion. That wasn't even the subject. The subject was about the Lakers' new team. How were they going to look? What about the Lakers' new look? And then it comes to you and you says, all I got to say is, I think this is the beginning of the end for Russell Westbrook. It's like, what? That's not even the question on the table. Nobody's talking about Russell Westbrook. He's not on the team no more. Why would it be the beginning of the end for Russ when the man is averaging almost a triple-double and was one of the most productive players coming off of the bench? He's also still at fault for losing games for the Lakers when he's coming off the bench. So let's omit the starting five and blame the bench. Let's blame Russ, who's actually putting points up on the board. Let's just blame him. That's what we're doing now, people. That's why it looks ridiculous. And people like Stephen A. keeps getting away with this narrative. Now he wants us and feel like we supposed to be doing something for him. We supposed to go and fight your war for you and get mad for you when you ain't gonna fight for yourself? What kind of fool are you? And then you finna go and grab what? Another you? And bring him up in the ranks and tell him how to sell out other athletes? Because that's what you did. You sold out. That's what you did. You completely sold everybody out. Oh, I'm just talking about the story with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are not the only players to ever demand a trade and leave. How about doing some journalistic work and investigate and find out why they want to leave? Find out what's going on in Brooklyn. Why don't you do that? Whenever you have a general manager of a team that had 3 of the top 10 players, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, just 2 years ago, that was the team. And 2 years later, all 3 are gone. Off your team, that sounds like an organizational problem. And they got Ben Simmons on there giving him 2 points a night. And you're paying him all this kind of money. I don't hear you going in on Ben Simmons every day, saying what's going on with Ben. When he's really been taking advantage of the system. But let's attack Kawhi Leonard, a man who has arthritic condition in his knees, a man who just came off of ACL surgery, who missed an entire season because of that surgery, who always plays the game the right way. He don't talk to the media, really. Let's go after him. And let's make him the face of what you call load management. Who came up with that load management word? When you know owners sit players down and want them to rest and say, this is your rest day. And players be like, man, I wanted to play tonight. No, you rested. You sitting down tonight. They sit down players, but it's okay for that to happen. Nobody calls out the owners for that. But when they don't play back to backs or say they got a sore ankle and don't feel like playing that game and they want to sit it out, who's done that more? Who brought that to the table? Everything you complain about, LeBron James brought to the table. All this flip flopping, tampering, all that, LeBron brought it to the table. But why you not calling him out? You see? Now you want to call the AllStar Game out because you got no choice. Because everybody's been calling it out. But I told you this back when they started this Team LeBron, Team Giannis, all this team crap. The problem with the All-Star Game has never, ever been a problem till LeBron James became the face of the league. Before then, people actually played in the All-Star Game. LeBron is the one that came up with this. Man, I ain't finna hurt myself out here. I'm just gonna lay back. Everybody came to see us do our stuff. We supposed to showcase the league. Watching y'all stand around and just dunk the ball, it's not exciting. And people done spend thousands of dollars and you sending people around the world, like Kobe said. Y'all sending this to billions of people around the world. That this is our game when the world's best players get together. This is what they do. It's got to be retooled. And retool don't mean this nonsense. And this is what the problem with Adam Silver is. He don't understand basketball. He just knows marketing. So all this other BS and circus stuff around the All-Star Game that's his activity. He loves all this extra stuff. We're gonna do a draft right before the game, and This will keep it fresh and exciting. It's not fresh and exciting. It's stupid. Because this isn't the problem of the game. The problem is the actual play on the court. There used to be a practice for All-Star Game weekend. They don't even do that anymore. They just shoot around, meet up, talk, shoot, get warmed up, talking to each other, taking pictures. It's no practice at all. They used to put on a show every year. All-Star Game used to mean something. They built it into something. And he's only doing it because he couldn't win. So we have to create a whole new All-Star Game for him to try to help this bum win. He's ruined the league and turned it to the worst. And it is what it is, and they don't call him out on it. And Stephen A., you are what's wrong with television. You are what's wrong. As you say, I come up, it was nobody doing this before me, and I'm one of 20 people that did it. Then you should have some type of morals about yourself. You should have a responsibility to say, hey, I have a responsibility that I need to be front and center for. Because the way you going makes no sense. None whatsoever. What you doing is a travesty to the people. I'm telling you. And got the nerve to call out people. Kwame Brown confronted you. And you mad about that. You mad Kwame Brown confronted you and exposed you for what you were. You mad about that. That's why you watching YouTubers and bloggers on there. If you so big, you don't say nothing. Why do bloggers get you upset? Huh? We bloggers, right? And we got you upset. A bunch of bloggers. Why are you so upset at us? Because you know it's true. See, you can't lie to people that know exactly what it is that you're doing and been getting away with. And you've been tearing down black athletes for far too long. And now they saying, hey, look, man, you're going to have to step it back. Most people couldn't say nothing to you because you was on ESPN. You see, when Big Dog and Kenyon Martin got in your face, they couldn't really do nothing to you. And you thinking it's because of you and you tough and all that. These dudes didn't care. They was going to give you the business anyway. But you trying to act like you tough. But you know, they can't, they get hit, they getting super fine for hitting you. So they know what time it is. But that don't give you a right to violate them and try to get disrespectful because you know they can't. They're in a position where they can't put their hands on. That's a coward. But I guess that's why you hang out with people like Gil, and y'all fit. All cowards seem to roll together. But it don't surprise me. None of it do. But when you try to act like you don't affect sponsorship deals and all of these things, look at what he did to Dwight Howard. Bashed Dwight Howard for the last few years of his career. When Dwight Howard really came and played, he didn't do any nonsense with the Lakers. None whatsoever. He was a guy that got less than 9 minutes a night. And then they say, man, he ain't getting the numbers no more he used to get. Well, he's playing 9 minutes a game. He plays 3 minutes in one quarter. He's playing 2.5 in another. Might get another 3 minutes in this quarter. Then He might get another 3 in the final quarter. It's that was like his night. So they be like, man, his numbers dropped. He's not starting. He's not playing, but not dying 10 minutes a game. So how can you assess he's falling off? It's a big man's dream to play in this league. Look at Drummond. He can get about 15, 20 boards a night. They don't want to see people shine. They want to see people groveling, saying, what is this? What happened? But it is what it is. We don't let them break us. Shouts out to Kwame Brown Bus Life. Don't forget to follow him, Kwame Brown Bus Life 2.0, Carcino for Life. Welcome to HDTV. Seahawks, Jose Rodriguez, The Star Report, Angela Stanton King Show, and Armando Black TV, and shoot, Ticket TV. Oh yeah, Ticket. Gotta say Ticket. Ticket the truth. And don't forget to follow the Patreon. The Carcino for Life Patreon is definitely get the Patreon app, so that way you can get the alerts quicker. People who got the app seem to get it quicker. So therefore, as soon as something's uploaded, you get it. They still haven't cleared the Michael Jackson Part 4 yet. It's still pending. So I'm gonna check with them today to see why is it taking so long. So anyway, I'm out. Stephen A., you're a sucker.